I want you to stop right now and think about the last time you checked your bank balance. Did you feel that familiar, tight knot in your stomach? That sinking dread that tells you, no matter how much you hustle, no matter how many hours you put in, the numbers just aren't adding up? I know that feeling intimately because I've lived it, and I've coached hundreds of people who live it every single day. We become trapped in what I call the scarcity loop: high effort, low reward. It's a frustrating, exhausting cycle, and frankly, it often makes you feel like the universe has singled you out for struggle, or perhaps that you just haven't been dealt a winning hand. You start believing that prosperity is reserved for other people, the lucky ones, the well-connected ones. But what if I told you that the feeling of being stuck is actually the most powerful indicator that you are standing directly in front of the key to your own abundance? That the frustration you feel is simply the energy of your untapped potential trying to break through? I remember a client I worked with. Let's call him Joao. Joao was the definition of hard work. He was a kind person, highly intelligent, disciplined in his professional life. He worked his primary job as a logistics manager. He drove for ride shares in the evenings, and still, every morning, he woke up with a cold fear gripping him. The fear of opening another bill, another invoice, another notice demanding payment. He was cutting corners, saying no to life's simple joys like eating out or taking a weekend trip, and his exhaustion was visible, not just physically but energetically. He genuinely believed that if he just worked harder and tracked every penny with militant precision, the money would finally arrive and stay. But the deeper he sank into the hustle, the louder the scarcity mindset screamed inside his head, manifesting more bills, more unexpected expenses, and more reasons to panic. When Joao first came to me, he was convinced the problem was entirely external: the state of the economy, his employer, the ridiculous cost of living. But I recognized the signs immediately because I had warned them myself years ago. I realized the true barrier wasn't the effort he was putting in, it was the energetic vibration he was putting out. Every time he looked at his bank account with panic, every time he paid a bill with resentment, every time he stressed over an upcoming payment, he was unknowingly reinforcing his reality of lack. He was becoming a perfect magnetic match for the continuation of scarcity. This isn't about ignoring reality. It's about understanding that our thoughts, and more importantly, our feelings about those thoughts, are constantly acting as universal broadcast signals. You can chant affirmations all day long, but if your gut feeling is one of panic and stress, the gut feeling always wins. This realization changed everything for Joao. It clarified that the solution wasn't just to think, "I want money," which is a statement of current lack, but to change the fundamental relationship he had with money, starting from the inside out. The breakthrough moment for Joao, and the core ingredient I want to share with you today, didn't come from a complex financial restructuring or a new, high-paying job. It came from harnessing the most potent, high-vibrational manifestation tool available: true, deeply felt gratitude. We moved away from surface-level affirmations focused purely on "I am rich," which often felt like a lie to his stressed, skeptical brain, and instead focused on deep, genuine appreciation for the resources he already possessed. Even the small things. Even the ability to pay part of a bill, or the car that allowed him to earn money, or the roof over his head. This specific energetic shift, from the desperation of scarcity to the appreciation of sufficiency, was like flipping a universal switch. It instantly stopped the outward broadcast of panic and began the inward pull of prosperity. Over the next few moments, I am going to walk you through the exact process Joao and I used. This is a practical blueprint for transforming your financial life. Are you ready to stop looking at abundance as some distant possibility reserved for other people and start claiming it as your immediate reality? I believe you are. Let's begin right now by examining the invisible engine that drives every result in your life. Now that we've recognized that our financial stress isn't just about external factors, but about the internal vibration we are sending out, it's time to truly grasp the mechanics of the law of attraction, which is our part 2. Understanding the universal principles, how your mind shapes reality. For many people, the law of attraction sounds like spiritual fluff, something nice to read in a book, but impractical for paying the rent. But let's demystify it. I want you to imagine your mind is not just a brain. It's a powerful broadcast tower, similar to a radio station. Every thought you have, Every emotion you harbor is transmitting a frequency. The universal principle states that like attracts like. This isn't a judgment, it's physics. If your tower is constantly broadcasting the frequency of fear, lack, and not enough, the universe, acting as a massive receiving dish, simply returns to you things, circumstances, and people that match that fear, lack, and not enough frequency. Think of it this way. If you tune your radio to a classical music station, you won't hear rock and roll, right? Your mind is currently tuned to a specific station. If you look at your life and see struggle, debt, and chronic difficulty, it's not because the universe hates you. It's because your subconscious mind has been programmed, often by decades of societal conditioning, to broadcast the struggle frequency. We often mistakenly believe that we will feel abundant once the money arrives. But the principles of manifestation require the reverse. You must tune yourself to the frequency of abundance first, and the circumstances must follow to match that frequency. Joao used to tell me he felt like he was constantly fighting the universe. He was pushing against his bills, pushing against his circumstances, and the pushing itself was generating a powerful frequency of resistance. When you resist lack, you actually spend all your energy affirming its existence. We had to fundamentally shift his understanding from, I must fight scarcity, to, I must align with abundance. I gave him a simple analogy. Imagine holding a magnifying glass. If you focus all your energy on a tiny speck of dirt on the lens, that speck becomes the biggest thing in your vision. But if you focus through the lens, out toward the vast landscape, the speck disappears, and your energy is spent appreciating the view. Most people with financial stress are magnifying the debt, magnifying the small paycheck, and magnifying the fear. They are using their incredible mental power to create a vivid picture of what they don't want. Your thoughts are not just fleeting ideas. They are magnetic, and they carry emotional charge. The emotion, the feeling, is the fuel that powers the manifestation engine. When you worry, you are essentially feeling the absence of what you desire, and that feeling becomes a command to the universe to maintain the status quo of absence. Are you beginning to see how your past thoughts, amplified by your stress and resistance, might have perfectly shaped your present financial circumstances? It's not about blame, it's about empowerment. It means that the instant you change the transmission frequency, the entire reality begins to shift to meet it. This is why we introduced gratitude. Gratitude is the highest and fastest frequency you can broadcast, instantly shifting you from the resistance channel to the receptive channel. But we couldn't jump straight into gratitude until we addressed the deep-seated programs first. That brings us to the next, often painful, but absolutely necessary step on the road to prosperity. Breaking those internalized chains of scarcity that keep the old radio station locked in place. We now move into part 3, breaking the chains of scarcity, rewiring your brain for abundance. If the law of attraction is the engine, your limiting beliefs are the massive brake pads keeping the vehicle stuck in the mud. For most of us, these financial beliefs are not consciously chosen. They are inherited, absorbed from our parents, society, and media throughout our childhood. Think about the common phrases you heard growing up. Money doesn't grow on trees. You have to suffer to succeed. Rich people are greedy. Or the deeply personal ones. I'm not smart enough to manage money. I always lose money. There is never enough left over for me. Joao had a profound belief that success meant sacrificing his family time, and that if he ever earned too much, he would become cold and isolated, like an image of a wealthy relative he disliked. His subconscious mind was actively blocking him from earning more because it was protecting him from the imagined pain of success. Identifying these limiting beliefs is the essential first act of sabotage against scarcity. I want you to spend a few minutes reflecting, not on your current bills, but on your deepest, most automatic thoughts when a large sum of money comes up, or when you consider buying something nice for yourself. What is the immediate, gut-level judgment that surfaces? Write that down. That statement is the core of your scarcity program. If you are serious about changing your life, you cannot skip this step. You must make the invisible visible. Once we identify these chains, we begin the process of reframing, the actual rewiring of the brain. A limiting belief is simply a thought you keep thinking over and over until it forms a neuropathway, a superhighway in your brain. To break it, we don't just deny it. we replace it with a more empowering truth. For Joao, when the thought, "I'm going to run out of money this month," surfaced, we immediately interrupted it and replaced it with a powerful, believable, abundance affirmation. The key here is believability. Don't jump from 0 to 1,000,000 instantly. Start small. If you believe, "I always struggle with money," reframe it to, "I am learning how to manage my resources wisely, and every day, money flows more freely to me." Or, the one we used with Joao, which was tied to his gratitude work. "I am grateful for the resources I have right now, and I trust that the universe is orchestrating more for me." This uses gratitude as the validator. The crucial tool we deployed here was the reverse affirmation. Every time Joao had a negative financial thought, he mentally canceled it, physically saying, "Cancel, clear, delete," and immediately replaced it with the gratitude affirmation. This consistent interruption, done over and over, started to weaken the old neural pathways and build new ones centered on sufficiency and gratitude. Remember, manifestation is not passive hoping, it's active mental training. This constant, deliberate rechanneling of thought is how you become a conscious creator. This is an invitation to radically shift your perspective right now. Tell me in the comments, what is one limiting belief about money or your own worth that you are ready to release today? By naming it, you begin the process of dismantling it. Now that we've broken the internal mental chains, we are ready for the fun part, the actual art of manifestation. This brings us to part 4, the art of manifestation, from thought to reality. If breaking limiting beliefs was about clearing the path, this step is about laying down the perfect roadmap and then fueling the journey. Many people get manifestation wrong because they focus solely on the what, the goal, and not the how, the feeling. We established earlier that emotion is the fuel. Therefore, the core of successful manifestation is learning to live from the state of having already received your desire, rather than living toward it. Let's apply this directly to financial abundance. If your specific goal is to manifest, say, a $10,000 unexpected inflow this year, simply writing $10,000 on a piece of paper won't cut it. You need to vividly embody the emotional state of a person who just received that $10,000. How does that person feel? They feel relief, security, excitement, freedom, and deep gratitude. They are not stressed about bills. They are relaxed. Here is the step-by-step manifestation process we practiced with Joao, specifically for his financial goals. Step 1. Be crystal clear on the desire. Define the exact amount or opportunity. Joao started small, manifesting money for an unexpected car repair to build his belief muscle. Step 2. Create a sensory vision. Close your eyes and create a vivid scene where you receive the news or look at the number in your account. Use all 5 senses. What does the screen look like? What sounds are around you? What is the texture of the check or the phone in your hand? Step 3. Access the emotion. This is the critical juncture. Once the scene is vivid, you must access the feelings associated with the fulfillment of the goal. The relief, the security, the joy. Hold that feeling for at least 68 seconds. Abraham Hicks teaches that 68 seconds of pure thought/emotion is enough to set a powerful creative vibration into motion. For Joao, this meant imagining the relief of paying off his oldest credit card entirely, the weight lifting from his shoulders. Step 4. Incorporate gratitude as the anchor. This is the unique element that supersedes all others. Joao would anchor the visualization with an immediate feeling of gratitude for the funds, even before they arrived. He would say, "I am so deeply grateful for this $10,000 that is already on its way to me, and I thank the universe for the financial security and freedom it represents." Gratitude validates the future as the present. Step 5. Let it go. Once you have visualized, felt the emotion, and anchored it with gratitude, you must release the how. You don't need to know how the money will arrive. A promotion, a forgotten check, a new opportunity. Your job is the clear request and the high vibrational feeling. The universe's job is the delivery mechanism. Obsessing over the how introduces doubt, which is a low-frequency energy. Trust is key. This practice requires consistency. It's not a one-and-done ritual. It's a daily alignment practice. I believe in providing tangible value, and if you are finding this material helpful, I want you to make an agreement with yourself. Click that like button and subscribe to this channel right now, not just for my sake, but as an energetic commitment to your own transformation. It's a physical act of telling the universe, I am ready to receive the next level of guidance and abundance. Now, let's talk about what happens when the delivery doesn't seem to be coming fast enough. How to manage doubt. We've made the request, we've set the frequency, and we've anchored it with gratitude. But what happens next? That leads us to part 5, navigating the journey, overcoming doubt, and taking inspired action. This is where most people quit, right before their breakthrough. Manifestation is rarely instantaneous, and during the lag time between the request and the delivery, doubt, impatience, and old scarcity patterns inevitably creep back in. If you find yourself checking the mailbox 20 times a day or constantly recalculating your current debt, you have slipped back into the energy of lack and distrust. Doubt is simply a low-frequency energy resulting from the ego trying to keep you safe in the familiar discomfort of the past. When doubt surfaces, and it will, you must treat it gently, but firmly. Acknowledge the thought, I see you, doubt, but immediately return to your gratitude anchor. Ask yourself, in this moment, right now, what is one thing I can genuinely appreciate? The roof over your head, the coffee you are drinking, the health in your body. Focus there. Gratitude acts as an energetic shield against doubt. The other major pitfall is confusing passive waiting with taking inspired action. Many think manifestation means sitting on the couch waiting for a check to drop from the ceiling. That is incorrect. The universe works through people, opportunities, and sudden impulses. As you raise your vibration through gratitude and visualization, you will start receiving intuitive nudges, a sudden thought to call an old contact, an urge to research a certain course, or a feeling that you need to apply for a specific role. Inspired action feels different from desperate hustle. Desperate hustle is driven by fear and urgency. It drains your energy. Inspired action, however, feels light, exciting, and obvious. It gives you energy. For Joao, after weeks of consistent gratitude practice, he suddenly felt compelled to update his nearly decade-old professional portfolio, even though he wasn't actively looking for a new job. Within 3 days of that update, an old colleague reached out, having seen his updated profile, offering him a consulting opportunity that instantly doubled his monthly income projections. He didn't force the opportunity. He followed the intuitive prompt that came from his elevated state. Your only work during this waiting period is twofold. Maintain the high vibration through daily gratitude and visualization, and remain open and alert for the nudges. If an opportunity presents itself that aligns with your desired outcome, move on it without hesitation. Don't analyze it to death, just trust the alignment. If you are struggling with motivation during the journey, I want to hear from you. In the comments below, share your best tip for staying motivated and maintaining a high vibration when the results aren't immediately visible. This community thrives on shared wisdom. Remember, this is a journey of growth, not a race against the clock. Consistency and trust are your greatest allies. We are now entering part 6, embracing a life of prosperity, your new beginning. We have traveled from recognizing the pain of scarcity to understanding the universal principles at work, to breaking old limiting beliefs, practicing the art of feeling-based manifestation, and finally, maintaining the faith necessary to see it through. It's time to consolidate this knowledge and step fully into your new reality. The core lesson from Joao's journey, and the ultimate key to sustained abundance, is that prosperity is not a destination. It is a default state of being, accessed through constant alignment and deep appreciation. Joao's finances changed dramatically, yes, but the biggest transformation was his relationship with money. He no longer operated from fear. When a bill arrived, he didn't panic. He looked at it as an opportunity to be grateful for the services rendered and an affirmation that he was capable of handling it. This shifted his energetic output from stress to sovereignty. To lock in this new reality, I want to leave you with 3 powerful, transformative habits to integrate starting today. First, the daily gratitude audit. Before your feet even hit the floor in the morning, list 3 things you are truly grateful for in your life, specifically related to resources, not just abstract concepts, but tangible things, e.g., I am grateful my car started. I am grateful for the food in my fridge. I am grateful for the job that allows me to earn. Second, the Manifestation Minute. Take 1 minute, midday, to visualize your most pressing financial goal as already accomplished. Feel the relief and anchor it with the affirmation, "Thank you, universe, for the perfect flow of abundance." Third, the Scarcity Interruption. Appoint yourself the internal security guard of your mind. The moment a negative or scarcity-based thought surfaces, "I can't afford that," or "it's too hard," interrupt it immediately with a simple, high-vibrational replacement. "I am capable, and resources are always finding their way to me." Embracing a life of prosperity means living in flow, understanding that you are a powerful co-creator, and trusting the infinite generosity of the universe. It means not just manifesting the money, but manifesting the internal peace that allows you to enjoy it. Imagine your future self, stress-free, secure, generous, and constantly operating from a place of more than enough. That is the reality you are building right now, brick by energetic brick. The old narrative of struggle is over. The pages of scarcity have been torn out. Your new beginning starts with the next thought you choose to think. Don't keep this powerful realization to yourself. If this message resonated with you, if Joao's story gave you hope, I urge you to share this video with one person you know who is currently stuck in that scarcity loop. Let's spread this message of prosperity consciousness and help others realize their own untapped power. Thank you for being here, and I look forward to hearing all about your coming abundance. Go out there and start creating the wealth you deserve. We have meticulously laid the foundation for attraction and established the discipline required for daily alignment. Moving beyond the initial influx of desired resources, however, a related, yet deeper, issue arises for many, sustaining the wealth once it arrives. I noticed a distinct pattern among clients who successfully manifested their desired income level, only to find themselves inexplicably dipping back into debt or experiencing sudden, large, unforeseen expenses that effectively neutralize their gains. I call this the abundance thermostat effect. Consider my experience with Sarah. Sarah was brilliant. She followed every step we outlined, and within 6 months, she secured a massive consulting contract that quintupled her monthly earnings. She was ecstatic. Yet, within a year, she was calling me, frustrated, detailing a string of catastrophic events. Her car transmission failed, her roof sprung a leak, and she faced an unexpected tax bill. She hadn't spent lavishly, yet her bank account felt perpetually drained. I realized Sarah's subconscious financial thermostat was set to a comfortable, familiar level of mild scarcity. When the external abundance pushed her past that internal setting, her subconscious mind, always striving for familiarity and safety, subconsciously created circumstances to pull her back down to her comfort zone. This required a complete shift in our focus. We needed to stop manifesting more and start manifesting capacity. My first instruction to Sarah was to engage in a radical energetic decluttering of her physical space. When you are asking the source of all supply to deliver vast new resources, whether they are physical assets or liquid funds, you must demonstrate, both energetically and tangibly, that you possess the space to receive and house them. We went through her home, shedding clothes she hadn't worn in years, clearing out cluttered storage spaces, and donating items that no longer served her higher vibrational identity. This physical act of making space was a profound somatic statement to the deeper levels of her being. I am ready for the new, and I have room to contain it. Furthermore, prosperity requires circulation. Holding tightly onto every dollar out of residual fear, even when the funds are flowing, is the fastest way to signal deep-seated lack to the high-frequency field we are co-creating with. When resources accumulate, we must become a conduit, not a dam. This principle of reciprocity is paramount to sustained flow. I counsel my clients to embrace the law of increase through joyful giving, an act that must stem from a place of genuine sufficiency, not obligation. When we release funds willingly, viewing the act as seeding a return rather than a loss, we reinforce the mental framework that we are secure, we have plenty, and the supply line is infinite. Consequently, Sarah and I developed what I termed the Prosperity Pledge. This wasn't about manifesting a lump sum. It was a commitment to the ongoing, joyful circulation of her wealth. She consciously set aside a percentage of her new income, which she released immediately to causes she cared about, feeling excitement and abundance as she did so. This immediate release of energy, paired with her visualization practices, completely rerouted her subconscious programming. Instead of equating high income with high stress and sudden loss, she began to associate receiving abundance with the joy of expansion and positive impact. Another crucial layer we uncovered was the need to upgrade her environment to match her new financial identity. This doesn't mean purchasing luxury items out of ego. Rather, it involves investing in high-quality experiences or tools that genuinely reflect the value she now provided and the worth she claimed. By upgrading her daily reality, better quality food, hiring a cleaning service to free up time, purchasing better equipment for her work, she was consistently signaling to her deeper self, "I am worthy of being treated well, and this level of prosperity is my new normal." She stopped viewing these expenditures as money lost and began seeing them as energy efficiently directed toward maintaining a sovereign, high-vibrational state. The external environment must mirror the internal belief in lasting wealth. By diligently applying this principle of circulation and capacity, Sarah not only maintained her new level of income, but seamlessly expanded it, shattering the old thermostat setting for good. She finally understood that manifesting money is easy. Manifesting the self-worth to hold on to it is the real work that we have meticulously laid the foundation for attraction and established the discipline required for daily alignment. Moving beyond the initial influx of desired resources, however, a related, yet deeper, issue arises for many, sustaining the wealth once it arrives. I noticed a distinct pattern among clients who successfully manifested their desired income level, only to find themselves inexplicably dipping back into debt or experiencing sudden, large, unforeseen expenses that effectively neutralized their gains. I call this the abundance thermostat effect. Consider my experience with Sarah. Sarah was brilliant. She followed every step we outlined, and within 6 months, she secured a massive consulting contract that quintupled her monthly earnings. She was ecstatic. Yet, within a year, she was calling me, frustrated, detailing a string of catastrophic events. Her car transmission failed, her roof sprung a leak, and she faced an unexpected tax bill. She hadn't spent lavishly, yet her bank account felt perpetually drained. I realized Sarah's subconscious financial thermostat was set to a comfortable, familiar level of mild scarcity. When the external abundance pushed her past that internal setting, her subconscious mind, always striving for familiarity and safety, subconsciously created circumstances to pull her back down to her comfort zone. This required a complete shift in our focus. We needed to stop manifesting more and start manifesting capacity. My first instruction to Sarah was to engage in a radical energetic decluttering of her physical space. When we ask the source of all supply to deliver vast new resources, whether they are physical assets or liquid funds, we must demonstrate, both energetically and tangibly, that we possess the space to receive and house them. We went through her home, shedding clothes she hadn't worn in years, clearing out cluttered storage spaces, and donating items that no longer served her higher vibrational identity. This physical act of making space was a profound somatic statement to the deeper levels of her being. I am ready for the new, and I have room to contain it. Furthermore, prosperity requires circulation. Holding tightly onto every dollar out of residual fear, even when the funds are flowing, is the fastest way to signal deep-seated lack to the high-frequency field we are co-creating with. When resources accumulate, we must become a conduit, not a dam. This principle of reciprocity is paramount to sustained flow. I counsel my clients to embrace the law of increase through joyful giving, an act that must stem from a place of genuine sufficiency, not obligation. When we release funds willingly, viewing the act as seeding a return rather than a loss, we reinforce the mental framework that we are secure, we have plenty, and the supply line is infinite. Consequently, Sarah and I developed what I termed the Prosperity Pledge. This wasn't about manifesting a lump sum. It was a commitment to the ongoing, joyful circulation of her wealth. She consciously set aside a percentage of her new income, which she released immediately to causes she cared about, feeling excitement and abundance as she did so. This immediate release of energy, paired with her visualization practices, completely rerouted her subconscious programming. Instead of equating high income with high stress and sudden loss, she began to associate receiving abundance with the joy of expansion and positive impact. Another crucial layer we uncovered was the need to upgrade her environment to match her new financial identity. This doesn't mean purchasing luxury items out of ego. Rather, it involves investing in high-quality experiences or tools that genuinely reflect the value she now provided and the worth she claimed. By upgrading her daily reality, better quality food, hiring a cleaning service to free up time, purchasing better equipment for her work, she was consistently signaling to her deeper self, "I am worthy of being treated well, and this level of prosperity is my new normal." She stopped viewing these expenditures as money lost and began seeing them as energy efficiently directed toward maintaining a sovereign, high-vibrational state. The external environment must mirror the internal belief in lasting wealth. By diligently applying this principle of circulation and capacity, Sarah not only maintained her new level of income, but seamlessly expanded it, shattering the old thermostat setting for good. She finally understood that attracting money is just the beginning. Cultivating the self-worth and capacity to sustain it is the real mastery. We have successfully navigated the intricate mechanics of attraction, moving from lack to clear intention and inspired momentum. Now, however, we confront the subtle, yet fierce, resistance that emerges after the initial breakthrough. The challenge of holding on to, maintaining, and expanding newly acquired affluence. The initial influx of success is often easy compared to the integration phase. I observed a common pattern among my mentor who managed to manifest sizable sums, a new contract, a significant bonus, an inheritance, only to see those funds rapidly dissipate through a bizarre string of correlating expenses or self-sabotaging decisions. This is not bad luck. It's an energetic mismatch between their present reality and their embedded sense of deservingness. Consider the case of Maria. She was a visualization powerhouse, capable of pulling in unexpected financial windfalls with remarkable ease. But inevitably, a corresponding, equally large expense would materialize: a sudden, expensive home repair, a health crisis requiring specialized care, or a lost investment opportunity. The net result was always the same: back to square one. Her issue was not attracting. Her core challenge was allowing the good to stay. I identified that Maria was operating from a deeply ingrained, intergenerational program, a belief that financial freedom led directly to isolation or moral compromise. Her subconscious was protecting her from what it perceived as the danger of permanent prosperity. After guiding so many individuals to their initial breakthroughs, I noticed a frustrating, almost universal plateau. Attracting a sudden windfall is one thing. Sustaining it is another challenge entirely. I witnessed a curious phenomenon with a mentee named Maria. She mastered the art of pulling in unexpected bonuses and contracts, sometimes seeming to manifest money effortlessly. Yet, immediately following these large deposits, she'd experience a flurry of major, necessary expenditures, a significant appliance failure, emergency dental work, or an abrupt increase in property taxes. Her emotional scale always normalized back to a precarious, just getting by level. This wasn't external bad luck. This was her inner financial regulation system pulling her back to its deeply familiar, albeit limited, setting. Maria's difficulty wasn't in her receiving antenna, but in her subconscious permission to keep high levels of comfort. I realized she had to stop identifying solely as someone seeking money and start embodying the conscious steward of significant resources. For 30 days, her primary assignment centered on becoming the person who effortlessly navigates affluence, rather than focusing purely on earning more. This required deep introspection. How does a financially secure person allocate time? What caliber of professional advice does that individual seek? She began reading materials related to long-term asset management, shifting her mental energy from immediate survival to strategic longevity. This deliberate adoption of a new mental role began building the neurological framework needed to stabilize and manage her expanded financial reality. Beyond tactical adjustments, we encountered a deep-seated, inherited resistance. Maria carried an unconscious bias that equated financial struggle with moral purity. In her family narrative, wealth was often associated with aloofness and selfishness. This powerful energetic conflict required dismantling, because subconsciously, her system was protecting her from becoming what she inwardly judged. I led her through a focused exercise involving the radical release of past judgments. She mentally pardoned every figure, family members, historical moguls, even characters in media she subconsciously resented for achieving financial status. This emotional severing of the link between riches and wrongdoing was vital. By freeing herself from the need to be virtuous through poverty, she finally granted herself the inner permission to be both abundantly successful and profoundly ethical. To further solidify this shift in ownership consciousness, we instituted a daily practice called the Wealth Dialogue. Maria began interacting with her investment accounts and savings not as distant, scary obligations, but as vital, appreciated partners in her life's purpose. Instead of checking her balance sheet with fear or obligation, she would take a moment of quiet respect, offering sincere internal encouragement. "Thank you for multiplying diligently and safely." Or, "I trust your inherent capacity for steady, strong growth." This nuanced shift, from treating money as an adversary to be conquered to regarding it as an ally deserving of respect, dramatically altered the frequency she radiated whenever she engaged with her assets. Money, as a form of liquid energy, reliably responds to trust and respect, naturally gravitating toward environments where it is genuinely appreciated rather than chronically feared. Subsequently, we focused on the true, sustaining power of affluence, intentional legacy. When wealth becomes merely about self-benefit, the motivation often stagnates and the flow contracts. Maria defined a clear, large-scale purpose for her elevated resources, launching a scholarship fund for creative students in underserved communities. This act elevated her financial goals, infusing them with massive, external significance. This elevation of purpose acted as the ultimate stabilizer, locking her vibration into the frequency of contribution. When your money serves a mission larger than your personal comfort, the energetic field we work with has a much stronger, self-sustaining reason to keep the supply lines wide open. This integral shift from short-term gain to sustained impact is the final, essential step in mastering enduring prosperity consciousness. Reflecting on this journey so far, I hope you recognize that what we have been exploring extends far beyond mere financial adjustments. This isn't about budgeting better or working harder. It's about a complete re-engineering of your fundamental operating system. We uncovered that the obstacles to true prosperity were never rooted in market conditions or fortune, but lay deep within the architecture of personal belief. I saw in so many faces the recognition that the person they were trying to become was fundamentally incompatible with the emotional residue of the person they once were. This conflict creates friction, a grinding resistance that drains the very energy needed for expansion. We spent significant time calibrating our energetic signal, moving away from a desperate plea and toward a confident expectation. The core insight here is that once the desired frequency is established, the crucial work pivots from initial creation to sustained containment. It's like designing a reservoir. It doesn't matter how fast the river flows in unless the structure is robust enough to hold the immense volume and allow for controlled distribution. We realize that holding space for an expanded reality requires not just clearing mental clutter, but actively demonstrating, through both thought and concrete behavior, that we are worthy custodians of this intensified supply. Our willingness to circulate resources, viewing expenditures not as leakage but as necessary momentum, dictates the velocity of the return. That reciprocal motion transforms a sporadic windfall into an unbreakable current. This transition from a mindset of chasing to one of attracting demands a profound level of self-trust, a confidence that the abundance experienced today is not an anomaly, but the verifiable baseline for tomorrow. This trust is earned not through hope, but through the consistent practice of inner alignment we have detailed together. This convergence of internal programming, emotional calibration, and capacity expansion is the true secret behind lasting affluence. It means the success you generate must seamlessly integrate with your elevated sense of self-worth. If the foundation of your self-perception remains weak, any substantial elevation in external circumstances will feel temporary, forcing a gravitational pull back to a familiar scarcity zone. My commitment to you throughout this detailed investigation has been to offer more than surface-level techniques. It has been to furnish you with the master controls for your own destiny. If you have been diligent in examining the inherited narratives that shaped your initial view of affluence, and if you have committed to embodying the feeling of success before its material arrival, you stand poised at a critical threshold. We have collectively dismantled the old engine of anxiety and installed a self-regulating system fueled by intentionality and high-quality emotion. The journey ahead demands not greater exertion, but deeper embodiment. It requires the sustained integrity between what you proclaim with your voice and what you truly feel in your gut, the harmonious blend of desire, conviction, and emotional security. As we transition now to our final address, I want us to fully appreciate the profound, yet simple, power of what happens next. The foundation is set. The power is on. It is time to fully claim the life that has been waiting for the new, self-governed you. The journey we've shared wasn't simply a set of instructions on how to attract dollars. It was an invitation to recognize and reclaim your innate sovereignty. If there is one singular truth I hope you carry forward from our conversation, it's this: prosperity isn't a prize awarded by chance. It is a profound reflection of internal alignment. We began this exploration deep within the shadow of scarcity, where many felt paralyzed by the recurring theme of never enough. We confronted the heavy weight of inherited beliefs and the exhausting, misdirected energy of constant striving. Our deepest work was moving past the superficial desire for more things and into a sustained state of feeling utterly and completely provided for. I recall a moment during Joao's final coaching session that perfectly encapsulated this transformation. He wasn't talking about his account balances anymore, which were robust and secure. Instead, he spoke about driving home one evening, catching the golden hour lights spilling across his street, and suddenly being overcome by an intense wave of peace. He realized he was no longer preoccupied with the fear of tomorrow's obligations, nor was he clinging anxiously to yesterday's mistakes. For the first time, he felt truly present in his life, and that presence, he explained to me, felt richer and more sustaining than any monetary milestone he had hit. This shift in consciousness, from measuring worth by net assets to valuing life by inner peace, is the definitive sign of a fully calibrated prosperity mindset. Many seek external solutions for inner conflicts, believing that a higher salary or a lower debt load will magically resolve the deep-seated anxiety about lack. Yet, we discovered that true abundance is the harmonious marriage between your deepest self-worth and your external environment. When you hold an unwavering conviction of your deservingness, a feeling that is rooted in self-respect and gratitude, your outer world has no choice but to rearrange itself to match that powerful inner frequency. The practical tools we discussed, the visualization, the gratitude audit, the strategic circulation of resources, these were merely techniques to help you practice and solidify that core truth. They are methods for training your subconscious mind to recognize that the supply is, and always has been, infinite. What matters now is your dedication to permanence. This newly achieved flow isn't a temporary destination. It is the new terrain upon which you build the remainder of your life. The real work ahead is the sustained commitment to intentionality. It means refusing to indulge even a momentary thought that compromises your internal commitment to sufficiency. It demands vigilance against the old, familiar anchors of doubt and fear, recognizing them as echoes of a past life, not indicators of your present reality. As I close this chapter with you, my final encouragement is this: be generous, not just with your money, but crucially, with your energy and your attention. Give your fullest attention to the good that already exists in your life. Give your purest energy to the creation of opportunities that excite you. And give generously of your trust to the process itself, knowing that the source of all success is fundamentally benevolent and inherently responsive to the high vibration of gratitude and certainty. Step forward now, not just as someone hoping for abundance, but as the powerful creator who is already defining it. You have the map, you possess the tools. Go live the fulfilled life you were always meant to inhabit.